Sa headlines, the National Security Council chief denied involvement on ex-Marine's claim that he received money from corrupt officials.
Lawyer of 18 former Marines submitted their affidavits against lawmakers who received luggages filled with money.
Malacanang Palace says it's on the National Unity Party's decision to unlikely support the impeachment raps against Vice President Sara Duterte.
The International Criminal Court Prosecutor Office says probes are self-funded amid ex-Marines' claims.
Good evening, bringing you the latest news for tonight. I am ALVIN PELOBELLO.
And I am KRIZZA Lopez. This is Eurotv News Thread. The details on our broadcast. The National Security Council has strongly denied allegations linking its secretary to the supposed receipt of money following a private meeting, calling the claims fabricated and malicious.
The issue stems from an alleged affidavit involving former Marines and has prompted both a legal and institutional response. More from this report.
National Security Council Secretary Eduardo Año has strongly denied the alleged affidavit of 18 former Marines implicating him in receiving a paper bag containing money after a meeting at Polo Club Townhouse. Año insisted that he did not attend any meeting with former Speaker Martin Romualdez, former Ako Bicol Party List Representative Saldico, and Congresswoman Laila de Lima at the Polo Club Townhouse or any other locations. Año further defended that he did not receive any paper bag or package from officials involved in corruptions. The official said the claims of 18 former Marines are false and fabricated. Even the secretary said he will not tolerate any kind of attempt to smear his reputation. At the same time, Año's legal team is also preparing to take appropriate actions. The NSC will also conduct its own investigation to determine whether those malicious taunts are part of a broader attempt to destabilize government institutions. In a report by the Philippine Navy on Wednesday, 4 of the 18 ex-Marines were not members of the Philippine Navy or even the Philippine Marine Corps. The Navy said this after verifying the identities and service records of the individuals made public by Attorney Levy Baligod, along with the photos showing the delivery of cash in briefcases to several lawmakers. According to the Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP Public Affairs Office Chief Colonel Cerex Trinidad, the statements related to this issue should be evaluated legally and those involved should be investigated. This is ALVIN PELOBELLO for Eurotv News.
A lawyer representing 18 self-proclaimed former Marines has appeared before the Office of the Ombudsman to formally submit affidavits accusing several lawmakers of receiving cash-filled luggage deliveries. The allegations have drawn swift denials from those named and raised questions about the credibility of the complainants. Henry Nicolas with the details.
On Thursday, lawyer representing 18 self-proclaimed Marines appeared before the Ombudsman to submit their affidavits against government officials who allegedly received luggages full of money. According to Attorney Levy Baligod, they submitted the statements of the former Marines accusing 7 senators and 26 congressmen of receiving millions in cash. Baligod stated that they turned over copies of the signed affidavits from the former soldiers allegedly composed of members of the Philippine Army and Marine, noting that only the Ombudsman has the authority to receive such allegations.
Namin sa Office of the Ombudsman para magkaroon lamang ng prima facie proof na merong offense na nakumit at ang mga napangalanan doon ay maaaring guilty sa mga offenses na ito.
If the Ombudsman find violations committed by the complained individuals, they could face charges for violating Republic Act number 3019 o the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act.
Po namin ay tumanggap sila ng milyon-milyon na pera pero hindi po yan naipakita sa kanilang salin. At pag mag-iimbestiga pa ang ombudsman ay maaaring makita nila na merong malversation.
Among those accused is Mamamayang Liberal Party List Representative Leila de Lima, which was raised as point of question since she was only recently assumed her seat in Congress. However, Balikod insisted that they supposedly witnessed de Lima entering and attending meetings inside Forbes Port.
At isa si Congresswoman Leila de Lima na nakita nila mismo, eyewitness, na nagdala ng paper bag na may salapi sa loob na hindi magkukulang na 5 milyon.
De Lima dismissed the allegations as lies, asserting that these are merely continued attempts to smear her reputation.
Yung mga nagpapakalat ng mga kasinungalingan, manigas kayo. You will not succeed in your evil designs of maintaining a culture of lies.
Due to the names included in the accusations, the credibility of the self-proclaimed soldiers has been received scrutiny. However, Balikod responded claiming it is normal for the accused to deny the allegations and they will simply wait for the ombudsman decision. The 18 former Marines previously claimed that they delivered money inside luggages from 2022 until 2025, making weekly deliveries to various government officials under the order of former Ako Bicol Party List Congressman Elizalde Co. This is Henry Nicolas for Eurotv News.
The Malacanang Palace reacted on the pronouncement of a political party, National Unity Party, that they are unlikely to support the impeachment raps against Vice President Sara Duterte. They emphasized the same evidences that have been subject to the scrutiny of the court. Here's more. Malacanang said it is up to the National Unity Party or NUP in Congress to decide on its refusal to support the impeachment complaints against Vice President Sara Duterte, according to the Palace Press Officer, Attorney Claire Castro. The Palace official said Duterte allies are free to vote according to their decision in Congress.
May kalayaan po sila mag-decide. Hindi naman po sila sinasaklawan ng ating Pangulo at ng administrasyon na ito. Kung ano po yung desisyon nila, malamang yun po yung nakikita nilang magiging magandang aksyon para sa kanilang political party.
Castro also emphasized that President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. does not look at the number of his allies in Congress. She said the president is focused on respecting the process and evidence.
Huwag nating isingit, ilagay sa issue ang numero ng Pangulo sa House of Representatives. Ang Pangulo po ay bumabase sa proseso at sa ebidensya. Kung ano po yung makikita nilang ebidensya, yun lamang po ang kanilang isulong.
Based on NUP's statement, the party sees no new evidence related to the impeachment complaints against the vice president, making it unlikely for them to support it. However, the party said it may reconsider if substantial evidence proving the allegations against Duterte emerges. The NUP added that it believes Congress should instead focus on other pressing national concerns. The party also expressed confidence that the House Committee on Justice will conduct hearings in accordance with the Constitution. This is KRIZZA Lopez for Eurotv News.
While the confirmation of charges hearing against former President Duterte is ongoing at the International Criminal Court, a group of former Marines has surfaced to publicly accuse prosecutors of receiving alleged bribes from the former officials. However, the ICC Office of the Prosecutor firmly denied these allegations, emphasizing that a probe is self-funded through the court's official budget. Mia Layagin reports.
The International Criminal Court Office of the Prosecutor addressed on Thursday the claims and accusations linked with the funding of its investigations. In a statement, ICCOTP emphasized that the court is independent and that the funding for its investigation operations are self-funded by the court. This is in response to the claims of Attorney Levito Baligod over corruption in ICC, with ex-lawmaker Zaldi Co and Sonny Trillanes IV funding some of its expenses while conducting investigation in the Philippines. In a statement, Trillanes have also denied that he received money from Ko for the ICC probe and that this is a tactic to discredit the credibility of the ICC proceedings on Duterte. The OTP asserted that the office do not comment on operational matters while an active investigation and proceedings is ongoing, but emphasized that ICC is independent and transparent in its investigative activities. It highlighted that its operations are funded under ICC budget approved by the Assembly of State Parties. OTP added that the said fund is strictly managed under financial rules and regulations of the court. Commenting on the claims, Vice President Sara Duterte said that she have heard since before about the alleged connections between some PH officials and ICC investigators. She noted that when she sought for the Marcos admin's position on the matter, President Bongbong have asserted that the Philippines won't cooperate with ICC in any means. However, with the revelation of these claims, Duterte noted that the motive behind her father's alleged kidnapping is not a simple banter, rather politicking. She condemned as well the administration's actions weakening the country's sovereignty, directly affecting its people just to benefit some in the politics. This is Mia Layagin for Eurotv News.
A progressive group has urged the authority to release the two activists who have been arrested in yesterday's tension between the police and protesters during the anniversary of EDSA People Power Revolution. More from this report.
The progressive group Bagong Alyansang Makabayan or Bayan called for the immediate release of two protesters arrested during the EDSA 40 commemoration. The two activists, identified as Edelv Paducho and Tri Ordeña, were arrested following tensions between police and protesters. The incident occurred after members of the progressive group attempted to dismantle police barricades to hold a program at the EDSA National Shrine. According to Bayan, authorities should instead be held accountable for the alleged use of force and failure to observe maximum tolerance during the protest. Bayan Muna also announced plans to stage another protest to condemn what it described as the premature dismissal of the impeachment complaint against President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. The group said the move is part of its continuing call for accountability over alleged corruption within the government. This is KRIZZA Lopez for Eurotv News.
Weeks before the 2nd District of Antipolo City special election, the Malacanang Palace has decided to declare March 14 as special non-working holiday. Vanessa Cleophas reports.
March 14, Saturday, has been declared a special non-working holiday in the 2nd Legislative District of Antipolo City by Malacanang Palace to accommodate a special election. The declaration is in accordance with Proclamation Number 1173, which upholds the right of Filipinos to vote in the country's elections. The special election was prompted by the vacancy left by Representative Romeo Acop, who passed away in December last year. Under Republic Act 6645 as amended by RA 7166, the Commission on Elections or COMELEC is required to hold a special election if a position in the House of Representatives becomes permanently vacant and there is at least 1 year remaining before the expiration of the term. Meanwhile, around 300,000 voters from 8 barangays are expected to cast their votes in the March 14 special election. 6 candidates will oppose for the post after Lorenzo Sumulong decided to withdraw his candidacy. Among the candidates in Antipolo 2nd District is Philip Acop, the son of the late congressman. This is Vanessa Cleophas for Eurotv News.
Due to alleged illegal activities, the Department of Information and Communication, or DICT, is planning to ban the application Telegram in the Philippines. Catherine Landicho has more.
The Department of Information and Communications Technology, or DICT, is considering a possible ban on the messaging platform Telegram as authorities intensify monitoring of alleged illegal activities linked to the app. DICT Secretary Henry Aguda said Telegram is currently under observation after being monitored for alleged involvement in online gambling, scams, digital piracy, and the illegal drug trade. He added that the platform has also reportedly been used for online sexual exploitation of children, posing serious risks to internet users. The Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Council, or CICC, also expressed concern over the challenges authorities face in tracking suspects. CICC Executive Director Renato Paraiso noted that the absence of physical telegram office in the Philippines make it difficult for law enforcement agencies to coordinate directly with the company. Paraiso stressed the need for direct coordination to identify individuals allegedly using the platform for prostitution, scamming, and other criminal activities. The DICT warned that if Telegram refused to cooperate with government authorities, it will recommend blocking access to the application nationwide. Aguda said that the app has become widely used for online pornography, financial scams, and the spread of deepfake contents. He explained that the Telegram's strong anonymity features make it harder for authorities to pursue scammers and hackers targeting Filipino victims. The DICT is currently working with the Philippine National Police or PNP and the National Bureau of Investigation or NBI to strengthen efforts to clean up the cyberspace and protect the public from social engineering schemes and other forms of digital fraud. This is Catherine Landicho for Eurotv News.
The Social Security system is set to roll out new programs and enhance benefits for members and pensioners in 2026, following what officials describe as a record-breaking financial performance over the past 5 years. More from Mia Layagin's report.
During the last 5 years, since 2021 until 2025, the financial performance of Social Security system have shown an evident growth. In 2025, SSS have reached most of its all-time high financial performance and collections. In numbers, SSS Reserve Fund breached the 1 trillion peso mark by 2025, from which total assets are valued at 1.261 trillion pesos, 22.1% higher compared to 2024. During the same year, SSS have also reached its historic high net income valued at 142.970 billion pesos, noting a significant 58.4% increase from 2024. Total revenue also peaked at 460.761 billion pesos, while total expenditures at 371.791 billion pesos. SSS noted that bulk of its revenues came from the members' contributions that reached 377.600 billion pesos, as well as investment income placed at 83.161 billion pesos. SSS described these growths as a good financial performance that is significant in securing loans and pensions for its members and beneficiaries. Finance Secretary and Social Security Commission Chairperson Frederick Go said that with this performance, SSS will be able to improve its programs and services without implementing more burden to its members.
Po namin sa ating mga beneficiaries, pensioners, members of the SSS earlier na nagpupulong-pulong kami na sigurado na kanilang retirement pensions, sigurado ang kanilang bukas. They can face their future with confidence. And on top of that, because of the fantastic results of the SSS is able to come up with more programs that will benefit its members. No?
Among the projects stabilized by this financial growth is the Calamity Loan launched in 2025, which SSS President and CEO Robert Joseph De Claro cited as helpful for calamity victims.
Ang calamity loan is yung moratorium period. So pag nag-avail mo kayo ng calamity loan, and since we're still under the state of national calamity until it's lifted by the President, you can avail of calamity loan, and there is a 6-month moratorium na ibig sabihin wala akong babayaran during that same period. So, kung hindi pa kayo nakakapag-avail, pwede pang makapag-avail.
This will also stable the pension reform program that allows pension increases every year from 2025 to 2027. Retirement and disability pensioners will receive 10% annual increase in pension, while death or survivor pensioners will enjoy 5% yearly increase. After 3 years, these pensioners are expected to gain 33% and 16% increase in pension respectively. Another good news is that amid the pension increase, members won't need to submit higher contribution rates.
I think we made it very clear po din ng announcement ng pension reform program natin na wala akong contribution increase until 2027. So hanggang may pension reform, wala akong kaming nakikitang increase in contribution ng ating mga miyembro.
This is Mia Layagin for Eurotv News.
A Food for Work initiative for beneficiaries of the Department of Labor and Employment's or DOLE's TUPAD program is currently being developed in Congress. Based on a lawmaker's proposal, beneficiaries would engage in vegetable and rice planting as a form of temporary employment rather than traditional community cleanup tasks. Vanessa Cleophas returns with the details.
Deputy Majority Leader and TGP Party List Representative Jose Bong Teves Jr. is now pushing to implement a Food for Work scheme for beneficiaries of the Tulong Panghanap Buhay sa Ating Disadvantaged Displaced Workers or TUPAD program under the Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE. Under the proposed Food for Work scheme, TUPAD beneficiaries would engage in planting vegetables and rice as part of their temporary employment instead of performing street sweeping and cleaning tasks. According to the lawmaker, this could be one of the keys to achieving food security and ensuring an adequate food supply in the country. He added that the program would also help vegetable growers.
Food for Work, magtanim ang mga tao na beneficiary ng TUPAD program. Kaya maganda ito. Pag nagkatulungan ito, ayos ito ngayong taon na ito, saka na tayo sa gulay, saka na tayo sa bigas. Matitikman natin ang murang bigas. Kaya yun ang pinag-aaralan natin na tinutulong ko sa gobyerno na sana pakinggan ako na bilhin nila ng mahal ang palay, ibenta nila ng mura ang bigas. Yun ang tunay na sabi.
Congressman Teves also emphasized the need for the National Food Authority or NFA to continue purchasing palay from local farmers as well as to provide higher subsidies for palay production instead of allocating subsidies for pesticide and insecticide, which he said should be left to farmers to purchase. He also expressed hope that measures could be put in place to ensure higher farm gate prices for palay while keeping rice prices affordable for consumers.
Kailangan huwag sila mag-stop buying. At yung kailangan, humarap sila ng malilenta nilang mga warehouses na talagang kayang mag-accommodate ng lahat ng mga farmers. Kasi, once na mag-stop buying, automatic tatama rin yung mga farmers magtanim. Huwag na tayo mag-subsidy ng fertilizer. Subsidy natin yung pagbinta ng palay. Para maramdaman talaga ng magsasaka. Parang gulay din ganyan.
Meanwhile, Congressman Teves shared that he is advancing the Food for Work program in coordination with DOLE and the Department of Agriculture or DA during a visit from the League of Agriculture Councilors of San Ildefonso, Bulacan at the House of Representatives. The group also requested the congressman's help in supplying local vegetable growers with gardening tools, seedlings, and additional support. Teves assured them that he would coordinate with the Department of Agriculture led by Secretary Francisco T. Laurel Jr. to address their concerns.
At makikipag-ugnayan tayo sa Department of Agriculture na sana mabigyan kayo ng mga garden tools at seedling. Pangalawa, makikipag-ugnayan din ako sa Department of Agriculture ulit para mabigyan kayo ng isang traktura para magamit nyo sa inyong mundo.
Congressman Teves is targeting to implement the Food for Work program for TUPAD beneficiaries within the year. For now, he said they are initially rolling out the plan among communities assisted by the TGP party list. This is Vanessa Cleophas for Eurotv News.
The Philippine Statistics Authority has launched Helpline, making it easier for the Filipinos to request national certificates. Catherine Landicho returns.
Securing civil registry document has become more convenient following the promotion of PSA Helpline.ph, an authorized online service channel of the Philippine Statistics Authority or PSA. Through PSA Helpline.ph, clients can request official copies of birth, marriage, and death certificate as well as certificate of no marriage record or CENOMAR, and certificate of no death record or CENODET without the need to visit PSA offices or queue at service center. The online platform allows users from anywhere in the country to place their orders and have requested documents delivered directly to their homes. The service ensures a secure and reliable process from online application to doorstep delivery. According to the announcement, the initiative aims to provide the public with a faster, safer, and more convenient way to obtain essential civil registry documents. Applicants may request their PSA certificate by visiting the official website of PSA. This is Catherine Landicho for Eurotv News.
A lawyer for Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro says the United States is blocking Venezuela from paying his legal defense's fees in his federal criminal case in New York. The dispute arises after a permissions license was granted and then quickly revoked by U.S. sanctions authorities. Son Santiago with the reports.
A lawyer for Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro says the U.S. government is preventing the Venezuelan government from paying for his legal defense fees. In a letter sent to the United States Courthouse on February 20, American defense attorney Barry Pollack told that both Maduro and his government are subject to U.S. sanctions because of the criminal case he's facing. Because of that, his counsel applied for a license from the United States Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control or OFAC to allow them to represent Maduro and receive payment from the Venezuelan government. Pollack said OFAC granted the license on January 9. However, less than 3 hours later, the agency amended Maduro's license to remove authorization for Venezuela to cover his legal fees. According to the New York Times, the OFAC grants licenses to allow companies and individuals to enter into arrangements that would normally be barred with countries subject to U.S. sanctions. It can be recalled that Maduro and his wife Celia Flores were taken into U.S. custody in January and transported to New York, where they face federal charges, including conspiracy to import cocaine and narco-terrorism conspiracy. Both have pleaded not guilty and are being held in detention while awaiting trial. In the letter, Pollack also explained that Venezuelan law requires the government to cover legal costs for the president, even the first lady. He argued that by blocking the payment of those fees, the U.S. is interfering with Maduro's constitutional Sixth Amendment right to counsel. Meanwhile, on February 11, Pollack asked OFAC to reinstate their original license, allowing Venezuela to pay for Maduro's defense. As of the letter's filing, OFAC had not acted on the request. Meanwhile, the application also included the representation of his wife Celia Flores. However, the license for the defense representing her was not changed. This is Son Santiago for Eurotv News.
Filipino girl group Sex Bomb Fever is not yet over as the girls is set to have their first regional show entitled Get Out. Samarto tells us more.
Even before the Round 6 concert concludes as the group world tour of the 90s girl group Sex Bomb Girls kicks off, the group has already released a new poster of their Get Out concert. This was shared on an Instagram post by Sex Bomb leader Rochelle Pangilinan, where besides the upcoming Round 6 which will take place in Manila, they will also have their first regional concert. The event will take place in Eastern Visayas region, specifically in Tacloban City. In her caption, Rochelle encouraged Tacloban fans to get their boots and hips ready for the show. Tickets will be available for Tacloban residents starting March 1, 2026 at exactly 12 noon at the EKJ Prod Ticket booth and online. It can be recalled that the group recently announced their World Tour concert, which will take place in some parts of UAE and USA. Meanwhile, the Get Out concert in Tacloban will take place on March 14 at the Tacloban City Convention Center. This is Sam Martos for Eurotv Showbiz News.
And that's the latest news for tonight. You may visit eurotvph.com for more news and information. Once again, I am KRIZZA Lopez.
You can also catch our live broadcast through our social media accounts and via Pinoy Stream channel. I'm ALVIN PELOBELLO. Thanks for joining us. This is Eurotv News Thread. Stay safe. Have a good night, everyone.
Kailangan po niya ng